All right, all right. Hello, everyone. It is just Miss Hawkins on so far. Hey, love. How you doing? Hope
Hello,
all is
sir.
well.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, doing wonderful. Getting ready to kick
Wonderful.
this party off.
Yep, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Ugh. Where's my notes? I ain't gonna keep I ain't gonna keep going too long tonight, but definitely want to touch on a couple of things, and I'll just kind of wait for everyone get the opportunity to kind of start plugging in phones. Okay, nice. Cricket. All right. Okay. 7:29. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready. Hey, welcome, welcome. How you doing, Mr. Santi? Absolute pleasure to have you here with us this evening.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're going to cover some good information, kind of like the fundamentals of this business, the principles, the things that will never change. That will make us successful. So we're going to kind of give it a few minutes. I got 7:29 on my clock, and I'll probably kick it off maybe by 8:05, just to give everybody a few minutes to chime in. Hello, hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to this call. 7:30. What's going on?
Hey, Mr. Brooks, great evening.
Yes, ma'am.
How are
Great
you?
evening, greeting. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Looking for a good week. Cap it all off with family and the holiday, and see what we're looking like following the holidays.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you
Staying
doing, ma'am?
excited.
How things on your side?
All is well, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Just the anticipation gets higher and higher every day.
I know. I know.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm,
But as usual, I'll just kind of give everybody a few minutes to log
yes,
on
sir.
before I kind of dive into this bad boy.
Yes, sir. I just sent out another reminder link to everyone.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right.
Hi, Mr.
Welcome,
Sante.
welcome, welcome.
She got it.
Hello, Miss Godfrey. How are you?
I'm great, ma'am. Enjoyed you at breakfast. We had a
I
good
did
time.
too. It was good.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We'll be doing that again, ma'am.
Okay, well, keep me in mind because I'm available to come.
Yes, ma'am. I sure will.
And thanks for sending the links.
Oh, you're so welcome. My pleasure. Hey, Miss Washington.
Hey, Miss Godfrey, how are you?
All is well.
Good, good, great.
It's slowly but surely coming in, Mr. Brooks.
Oh, yes, ma'am. No doubt. No doubt. People maybe finishing up Sunday evening dinner.
Hey, Miss Hawkins. Sorry,
How's
sir.
everybody
It's like
doing?
family, right?
Yeah, I know. It's like the reunion, everybody meeting up.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I have
sir.
to concur on breakfast. It was very nice.
Yes, ma'am. We had so much fun. Yes, indeed. So we got to work on the holiday. Chris. Hey, Mr. Henry. Oh, excuse
What's
me.
up?
Hi, sir.
Hey, there he
Hey,
is.
hey.
How you doing? Oh my goodness. I mean,
Miss
I'm
Webb,
chomping
what's
on
going
food,
on,
y'all, so that's why I don't have my camera on. Y'all don't need to see me chomping.
love? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
see me eating in a minute.
Hey, look, like you said, it's all family. We all understand. It's Sunday. We in a comfort of our own homes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's see what time it is. 7:32. I'll give it just maybe three more minutes or so, a few more minutes. Then we'll go ahead and get it. Do what we do.
But that's why you all don't see me because I'm chomping too.
There you go. I got company.
Right. It ain't pretty when gravy is involved.
Oh, no.
Go ahead and lick them
Sounds
fingers.
good.
It's okay. You can lick them fingers. It's all right.
That's right. Go ahead and sop it up with a biscuit.
That's
Yeah.
right. Don't miss a morsel.
Believe me, I won't.
Welcome. Everyone that's, hopping on to the line. Appreciate everybody chiming in. We'll give it just a couple more minutes before we get down to this evening's training. We're just going to kind of cover the fundamentals. And, the reason why I wanted to kind of put this call together is because, not everybody on the line will maybe remember this, but, some of my seasoned veterans remember this, at some point in our business, we used to do a call every single day at 6 o'clock. And we would speak on, various topics and things of that nature. And as the business has progressed, we've kind of gotten away from that a little bit. And so I would just kind of like maybe bring some of that back, really just focus on the fundamentals. We're getting new people into our business each and every week, each and every month. And they need to kind of get that same type of information or exposure that we was kind of giving out in the very beginning, back in the day when we first started this thing. So that was the gist of tonight's call, just really cover the fundamentals. It doesn't matter how successful we get or how experienced we get or how new we are, the fundamentals never change. What we did when we first got in is going to, we're still going to do the same type of activities, whether we're at $100 a month, $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, or, $100,000 a month. Those, habits, those fundamentals, that mindset doesn't really change. So we're just going to cover, not everything, because, if we covered everything that goes involved with network marketing, we'd be on this phone call, video phone for, 3-4 hours. But, for where we are right now, we're definitely going to cover a couple of, the very important basic or fundamental skills and approaches that we all need to start our business and to grow our business as we see fit. So that's just kind of the point of that. And so, you know what? It's 7:35. I'm just gonna kind of go ahead and get to it. I'm gonna mute everybody out. So, boom. And all right, people, you beautiful, beautiful people. Thank you for taking the time out to, plug into your business, taking it seriously. That's what we all have to do in order to capitalize on this amazing opportunity that we've all were fortunate enough to find at the grassroots, as I like to call it, the grassroots stages. To me, it's not even ground floor yet. We haven't even got to the ground floor part yet. So we still in the basement at the grassroots stages. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure, most of the individuals on the phone know me. My name is Mr. Brooks. I've had the pleasure of witnessing this journey ever since, it was created. And, I definitely have grown in this opportunity. I've learned so much just being under the tutelage of Dr. London and, my mentor, Mr. Noble Potts. And, I just want to kind of share some things, all right? Some things that I work for me personally, and some things that I know I worked for other individuals. So with that being said, now, the fundamentals. So what is the first thing an individual needs to do? And this is so we can educate our new business partners as they come into the business, as well as ourselves if we haven't even started to think about this stuff. But, the first thing that we have to do when we accept this business is really determine our why, our purpose for doing so. And oftentimes, just as a business and, we're in it to make money, but your why, your purpose has to be deeper than just making money. Money has to be more so a means to an end. But if you can really find something that, you know, you're experiencing that can pull you emotionally, that is what you need to really kind of focus on. For instance, myself. Of course, I want to be successful. And of course, I would like you guys like, you see me. I like to dress, so I would like a nice house. I would like, a nice exotic car too, and I would like to kind of travel the world and be able to take my family and my wife and just spoil the crap out of them whenever we go somewhere. And my wife sees a bag, hey, just throw it in the bag, swipe it. Of course, I would like that type of lifestyle for myself and my family. But, to me, that is like just surface level, superficial stuff. What is something that really would drive you to do the things that you don't even feel like doing? Like, we all, not all, but most of us would have kids, but we do things for them, even though we don't necessarily want to, because we want them to be happy, whatever the case may be. So, like, for instance, my why, I have several whys. One is to, live a lifestyle of comfort, convenience, abundance, opulence, or whatever the case may be. But, personally speaking, ladies and gents, I've been an entrepreneur since about 2006, and I've had a few different, business ventures that didn't go so well. So one of the reasons why I'm so committed to this is because I want to just set something, a goal for myself, and feel the satisfaction of achieving that. To sit there and say that, yes, it was hard. Yes, not many people did it to that level, but for me to say that I did that would mean a great deal for me personally. And the fact that, one of my another emotional things is, my mother is retired, and I was raised by a single parent, just my mom. And so I want to give her a very comfortable retirement. I seen her sacrifice so much over her life for me, and I just got to repay that in the most extravagant way that I can freaking imagine possible. So those are just some of the whys, and money is just going to be a means that kind of help with that. So determine your why. It's so very important that we understand why we're doing this, our purpose in for doing this, because as we know, this business is not easy to do. So once we determine that, this is what, I'm doing this, and make a commitment, right? So many times individuals kind of take this thing for a test drive and not actually buy the car right out, if that makes sense. We have to, I don't know everybody's goals and the level of what they see this, but I've talked to most of you, and I know most of you see this as a golden opportunity, like that golden ticket that's going to give us in the chocolate factory. And so in order to do that, we have to remain committed and not just give it a test drive. So many people get involved in this business, this type of industry, and if things don't go a certain freaking way for a few months, then they lose steam, they lose momentum, they figure, it's not going to work, and they let the outsiders start chipping away at their confidence and their belief, and all of a sudden they just kind of fizzle out this business. And understand, yes, this is a business. It may not look like a traditional brick and mortar establishment, but you are a business. So you wouldn't spend so much money to invest in a brick and mortar store, and after 3-4 months you don't hit certain quotas, you pack up and leave. No, nobody does that. But for some reason with this business, people only give it months, and not the 2 or 3 years. Look, if you really want this thing to work, and especially if you're brand new, you have to make a commitment, bare minimum 2 to 3 years, working diligently on yourself and on your business every single day. If you don't give that much time, you cheat yourself. You have to give it that at least a 2 to 3 year window for things to manifest and change and grow and fail and learn. Regress, come back even stronger. It's a 2 to 3 year process, bare minimum, to change your life. All right. And another key thing, once you determine all of that, once you determine your why, have a vision for what you want your life to look like. what you want your business to look like. And here's a key thing, write it down. It don't mean jack squat if you do not write these things down. If you're coming on, please mute yourself. I appreciate you so much. Love you all. Okay, write it down. And we hear from Dr. London all the time. What does it say? A dream is really but a wish unless you write it down and start acting upon it. So yes, you can have, you know, a purpose or a why. You can have a vision of what your life, your business will, you know, will look like 2 to 3 years from down the line. But if you don't write it down, and if you don't, and even more, don't act upon it, then you're just daydreaming. There's something magical. I don't know what it is, but you can ask anybody who's achieved a very high level of success. They have their goals written down, visibly somewhere that they can see them and view them every day. I've even heard of individuals that, this one individual, I can't remember what his name is, I apologize, but he said one of the things that he does is he writes his goals down at least 10 times a day, you know, just to keep it in the forefront of his mind. There's something magical that happens when you write something down. Number one, there have been, you know, actually research studies that shows you're 40% more likely to remember something if you do write it down, as opposed to just thinking about it. All right. So first things first, you know, when you get in this business, please determine your why, and don't make it just something superficial like you want to drive a nice car or you want to, you know, outdo your neighbor or whatever the case may be. Make it something real. Make it something that's emotional. And we all have something that you know, will make us cry if we really think about it. Once you find that thing that makes you tear up and choke up a little bit, that's your why, and that's what you put your energy behind it. All right, make it deeper than money. Number two, it helps to develop a routine. All right. Now, for many of us, entrepreneurship is something new. All right. If you're coming on, please try to mute yourself. If not, I'll try to mute everybody and keep it moving. Whatever. For many of us, you know, entrepreneurship or even network, even if you're not even new to network, entrepreneurship, network marketing is something new to us, right? It's something that is unfamiliar. And what can kind of help us make the transition a little less, you know, a little easier is developing a routine. Now, we've all heard the routine of things we have to, you know, we should be doing each and every day to help grow our business. And that's what the obvious, you know, quote unquote, talk to people, you know, grow your active prospect list, you know, study your industry, the pet industry, the network marketing industry, you know, call your uplines, you know, call your downlines, you know, attend as many functions, trainings, corporate overviews, whether they're Zoom, online, or whatever the case may be. We kind of all understand those daily habits, if you will, that we need to adapt in order to grow the business. But there's also some other things that I think it kind of help. Now, understand that, and I'm going to touch on this word later on in the training with something else, but understand the role that momentum plays in everything. We all understand, and we know what is it? I think it's Isaac Newton's, whatever is in motion tends to stay in motion, right? When you develop a routine, you're building momentum. When you are new to something and you start a routine, it helps you stay moving. It helps you stay in a certain place. It helps you continually go. Even though it may be foreign to you, if you kind of just develop habits, you kind of grow into it. I don't know if I'm making sense with this. I don't know if I'm making sense. But aside from those two things, right, a daily routine, really, because I'll give you my daily routine. When I wake up, I tend to wake up a little earlier than I need to, like an hour and a half, only because I'm trying to get myself in the right frame of mind. When it's early, you know, and, you know, it's sleep, it's quiet, I'm really able to focus and mentally start my day, mentally get myself in a good place. We all know that when we go outside into that marketplace, we're going to get hit with so many rejections from strangers, from parents. But if I'm able to start my day off in quiet, and whether you pray, whether you meditate, it just helps set this tone for the rest of your day. Even starting out listening to something positive. That first hour of your day is critical. It can really set the tone for your rest of the day. Has this ever happened to anybody when you get out the bed, or if you go to bed a certain way and you wake up and the first thing you do is you stub your toe, right? And then you may go into the bathroom, and then you're out of toothpaste, and you may spill coffee on your shirt. Things tend to kind of spiral out of control if you don't take a grasp on a tray and set the tone with some type of positivity. Whether you listen to something, whether you read something, whether you meditate or pray. And that's what I'm more so talking about, develop a routine. Develop a routine in the morning that can kind of carry you throughout your day. All right, it's very important that we all do that. There's a great book on it called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. It's a great book. Every successful multi-millionaire and billionaire has a morning routine to just kind of set them up to go out into the marketplace. All right, it's all about getting yourself in the right mindset, the right frame of mind. All right, so number one, we understand we got to figure out why we're doing this. It has to be something other than a fancy car or a nice watch. Number two, develop that routine to get yourself ready in the morning in a positive, charge yourself with positivity, so it doesn't matter what type of negative comes to you, it just bounces right off. That's what I was trying to get at, is develop a routine. That morning routine can really carry you throughout this day, aside from calling your upline every day, doing the things, the habits that we always are teaching and preaching and stuff like that. All right, now that you determine why you're doing this, now that you kind of just set a routine to get yourself in a right place mentally, and once you start going out there into the marketplace, we all know that, excuse me one second, we all know that the crutch of our business is recruiting, it's prospecting, all right? And we're going to kind of cover a little bit of that real quick. Now, when it comes to prospecting and recruiting, this is something that is it's just one of those things. It definitely can make or break your network marketing career. And one thing that I kind of like about what we're doing is we are educating our people to be professionals, to kind of go out about it a certain way. And really, there's two ways we can do this, right? We can do the quick way, where we expose a lot of people in a short period of time, but just, pretty much saying, hey, you want to kind of make some money or what? It's like, that type of approach where we just, expose, essentially throw crap against the wall and see what sticks, expose a lot of people as quickly as possible, and just kind of see who's open. But I think, there's also a much just as effective way, probably more effective way. It's a slower way, but to me, it's a more effective way. And that is just doing just the networking and trying to share knowledge, right? Trying to share knowledge. Now, what gets people with recruiting, why people tend to freeze up or get nervous. Number one, and I've always said this before, I think there can be some type of psychological thing when it comes to talking with people, right? We've always been taught since we were little kids not to talk to strangers, so I still think there's some of that there as well. But ultimately, here's the thing: people don't recruit because there's a fear there. There's a fear that they are going to be rejected, and the only way we can kind of overcome that is to detach ourselves, because we go in. A lot of people go into recruiting with the mindset is I'm trying to get this person into my business. And that is where some of the anxiety comes, because you don't know what he's going to say. And if I don't get this person, I'm going to be upset and frustrated because I've just prospected the last 10 people and they said no. So now I'm getting anxious and desperate, and I need this guy in my business. So I need to convince this guy, or I need this guy to be open and come see my video. And so when we do that, we tense up, we get nervous, and that energy comes across. And of course, what does that person do? They sense that energy subconsciously. They don't even realize they are, but they sense that nervousness, that uneasiness, that quote unquote, that desperate energy. and something just clicks with them that says, you know, something's not right here. I think I'll pass. And so when you're able to not, you know, detach from going out there and talking to people with the intent to acquire them as business partner rather than the intent of just sharing information. Now keep in mind, you are a business partner. You are a business owner. You determine who you want to be in business with you. If you see somebody and they don't seem like they'll be coachable, or they will procrastinate, or they're all about fun and games and just kind of partying or drinking or whatever the case, then that's not the type of individual that you want in your business. And understand, know this going in. Most of the people you come across, I guess this will kind of help you alleviate some of the tension. Most of the individuals that you come across, they will not be open for an opportunity. They just will not be open for an opportunity. But when you are able to educate, you know, when you are able to show value, to show that you are knowledgeable, then that's a way of opening people's minds. Now, people get so bombarded today with buy this, try that, do this, look here, hey, sign this, that the moment we come up to somebody and we start saying a few words that sound familiar to other things that they heard before, they are going to automatically fill in the gaps before you have a chance to. I mean, it's just how the mind works. As soon as you say opportunity or, you know, any type of buzzwords that they've heard before, they go automatically fill in the rest of the word before hearing what you got to say. It's just how the mind works. It takes a shortcut, and it determines whether it's safe or harmful. And once they hear a couple of buzzwords, they're going to associate it with something else, and they're going to make that determination right there if this is something safe for me to listen to or not. And it more than likely is they're going to determine that it's not safe and shut down and not even be open to hear what you got to say. So that's why, you know, prospecting can get a little scary. You know, there's a little bit of psychology involved, but I will say this. When you are a professional, when you don't go in and just trying to add somebody to your business, but you are just seeking individuals who are open to opportunity. And there's just, you know, you can only do that by just talking to people and asking certain questions. Look, you know, I want to share an experience that Mr. Todd Williams, one of my downline, had with an individual. He was out on the street, and I guess a guy approached him and tried to recruit him for some type of travel company, all right? And the guy was just kind of going on about, you know, I guess all the benefits about the company, you know, all the different ways people get paid. I guess they were featured in this magazine. You know, he was trying to show all the bells and whistles. But ladies and gentlemen, I got to be honest with you, that's not what's going to get your prospect interested in hearing what you got to say. It really isn't. You know, all that's well and good, but that's not what's going to get somebody interested, at least the majority of individuals. They're not going to care that our comp plan is so juicy. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to care about our top quality products. They're not going to care that, you know, they might care that we're ground floor, but that's not what's going to move an individual. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. You know, the guy just kind of came out and he kind of threw up on the individual. And I think that is, you know, one of the key things that a lot of new network marketers do or do wrong is they just talk too much. You know, you get the opportunity to share your business, then you get excited. Trust me, I get it. I've done it a million times myself. And so when that happens, you don't know what is going to be that thing that's going to get the individual to move. So you just say everything, right? I mean, how many can we all attest to that? So it may be the comp plan, so you cover the comp plan, or you don't want to leave this out because this really may get them. And that is, you know, it goes to infinity. So you throw that in there and you talk about all the ingredients in the product. And so we just, you know, throw up too much. And the person that's on the other side of that, they're just like, whoo, you know, it can be a bit much. But when you talk about when you're knowledgeable about the economy, right? When you're knowledgeable about business trends, when you're knowledgeable about the, the importance of leverage and residual income, when you're knowledgeable about certain things like that, and you start having a conversation with an individual, that is what's going to open them up. That's what's going to be opening them up. And remember, your initial contact with an individual most times isn't going to be a pitch. It isn't going to be a spill. It isn't going to be any of that. All right. Good night. All right. It's not going to be any of that. We got to kind of get out the mind frame that whenever we see somebody, we got to pitch them the business. When we first things first, when it comes to recruiting or prospecting, recruiting is a two-part process. You prospect and then you invite. To me, that's what recruiting is. And the prospecting is just finding individuals who are open to an opportunity. And Dr. Lennon says it all the time. He says it's not a shortage of opportunity out there. It's a shortage of people who qualify for an opportunity. And when you're prospecting, that's exactly what you're doing. You are qualifying this individual to see if this person is open to opportunity. And that's when you compliment and you just start talking. And I don't really like scripts. I don't do scripts. To me, scripts are unnatural, but I can see the value in it. I can see the value in them. But if you see somebody, like I say, you can do either way. And I guess your determination of which approach you use, whether it's the fast, hey, I'm just trying to expose and see if this person's open, or I'm trying to prospect and see if this individual is savvy and sharp. So, like I said, you got two ways. You can either become like, hey, you seem pretty sharp. I'm sorry, sir, you seem pretty sharp. I just wanted to know, what do you do? Okay, are you open for opportunity, or are you married? What you do? That kind of approach, right? You can do that quickly approach, or you can find somebody and just do what we do. We network. Hey, you seem pretty sharp. Hey, you seem pretty sharp. What do you do? You can start talking. It's a slower approach, but what are you doing in that approach? What are you doing in the text of that conversation instead of that 30-second or a minute, type of invite approach, or whether it's like a 5-minute type of deal? Like, really, you have to be the judge of how much time, what kind of individual that you're working with, and that just comes with, application and practice. And so, of course, if you are in the line at a 7-Eleven and you're in a hurry, this person is in a hurry, it definitely works in your favor. You can use the quick pitch. But if you have some time, I definitely recommend doing the slower pitch, just, prospecting, finding out what kind of mindset or mental space this person is in. And while you're doing that, you're developing repertoire, you're developing trust. The person is getting to like you, and people do business with who they like and trust. And so that's the two different ways you can kind of go about it. But what do you do once you get once you get the number, right? You prospect, you found somebody, you either got them with the quick, hey, are you married to your job? You know what? I'm in the business with Dr. Lance London, a very prominent multimillionaire. He owns Carolina Kitchen. You ever ate that? Look, and we put something together. We're looking for sharp individuals. Are you married to what you do? Well, what is it? Hey, look, I don't have a lot of time, but look, give me a number, give me an email. I'll reach out to you within the next 24 hours, and we can sit down and we can talk about this. And so once you have whatever approach you use, whether it's the slow approach or you took the time, you guys talked, you built some rapport, you got the number. What's the next step? All right, the prospect, you got that part. Now comes the inviting. Now, the inviting part, I can say, you can have tools, right? Like, remember when I said, I think one of the biggest things is people talking too much? The reason why I think that, even for someone like myself who's been around and I can definitely explain the information, I'd rather not do it. I'd rather not do any of the explaining. I'd rather send that person a video. I'd rather get them on the phone with Mr. Potts. I'd rather invite them out. or something. Really, I do not want to be the quote unquote the expert. I don't want to be the guy explaining the information. Why? Number one, if I prospect a person and I give them this 30-minute spiel, right? They are going to automatically link that that's what they're going to have to do, right? And I don't want them to look at this already with all the misconceptions that this business has as something that is very hard to do. Most people aren't going to want to get up in front of the room and speak. A lot of people have that, fear of public speaking. But if I'm able to get through to them that you don't have to be the expert, that you can just send someone a video link. You can get someone on the phone who's been, in the business longer. For me, that's Mr. Potts, That's what I typically want to do. Number one, it takes pressure, especially if you're new, it takes pressure off of you of trying to have him to explain everything, right? And it relates to the person you talk to that, hey, I don't have to be this, this talker, this charismatic individual who has all this information about business, right? It kind of helps them, relaxes them a little bit to help them know that, hey, I don't have to do what this individual's doing and talk for 45 minutes, It helps them understand that. Oh, excuse me, hold on. Absolutely. Absolutely, yes, sir. So that's the key to utilizing that. Like, people, use your tools. I know we don't have everything already present, but one of the key things that I've learned that teams with the most tools out there, people who can send out the most links, have the most pamphlets, the most flyers, the most sample kits, the most video books, whatever the tool you use is going to help grow your business, because that is what's going to attract people. You could talk, or you could give somebody something they can hold tangible, that they can see, that type of thing. All right. Now, when it comes to inviting, posture is definitely something very big. Now, what is posture? I guess posture is just belief, a very strong level of belief. Because here's the thing. Once you start inviting individuals, right, they are going to try to find something negative, or not even everybody, or question the validity, especially if you are new and I'll say this, when you first get in, you always hear something. Let me jump ahead and I'll kind of come back, because this kind of ties in together. When you first get in, we always instruct people to make a 100-person list, right? And we tell them to make the 100-person list, and this 100-person list is just their hot and their warm markets, right? Everybody that in their family, everybody that they come into contact with on a regular basis will have some type of pre-existing relationship with, right? And we tell people to do that, and we also tell people that that's like your practice list, right? That's how you kind of get a feel of how to pitch your business, and you also get a feel of how people are going to respond to your business. It kind of prepares you to go out into the cold market, which I like called the gold market. I think that's the crux of at least most people that come into this business are going to be of the cold market, right? Now, when you do that and you call up your best friend Jim, and you say, hey, man, look, I'm a part of something. I met some individuals, sharp, savvy. I'm so excited, man. I can't believe it. I'm losing sleep. Listen, you, my boy, we've always talking about, balling out in Vegas together, man. Look, man, you got to come take a look. Look, we're getting together this, such and such, such. Look, you, my boy, I just need you to come check this thing out for me, right? All right, boom. What's going to go on in Jim's mind? Okay. Now, Jim knows you personally. Jim knows that you're not a business person. He knows you're not an entrepreneur. He knows that you had to borrow $20 from him from last week, right? So when you all of a sudden call up and start talking business, there's going to be a disconnect, because Jim doesn't see you that way, right? And so Jim may even start being negative to you. Oh, did you fall for one of those things, man? What are you talking about, man? What do you know about that? Oh man, them things don't ever work, right? And that's where posture or strong belief comes in, right? Because you're going to get a lot of that, and then unfortunately, you're going to get most of that from the people that you are closest with, that you love most. And so, posture is a strong level of belief. Now, there's ways to combat gym, right? And when I say, strong belief, strong posture, it's essentially saying, like, Jim, you know what? You're my boy. I love you to death, but you're wrong, or whatever the case may be. Now, I know that I haven't been, whatever the case may be, but I found my why, right? What is your why? And I'll put a pin in there. Tell people your why. When you're doing things, tell people your why. Because ultimately, look, we all are flesh and blood. We all have families. We all have fears, doubts, dreams, everything. And so many of those fears, doubts, dreams, we all can relate to. We all can relate to, at least for me and in my life, living check to check, not having enough money, being disappointed because, you weren't able to provide something for somebody that you love, or being worried about how you're going to, pay your bill. We all, I don't care who you are, at some point, we all can relate that. So when you come up with that why, and people start to push back, that's where your why comes in. That's where that strong belief comes in. Like, you know what? You're right. Previously, I've slacked off, but I'm a father now, or whatever your why is, and people are going to relate to that. And once they feel that, you're serious about this, that this isn't just some fad or something that you just kind of did on a whim, they'll respond to you differently. All right, they'll respond to you differently when they feel like, oh, okay, this guy's really serious about this. They may not support, they may not, come out and support you, but they at least won't tear you down. Because once they feel that you're serious, they at least, support you, and at least won't be negative towards you. At least they won't do that. All right. So, prospecting. Let me kind of recap. Recruiting, I should say. Recruiting is a two-part process. Number one, prospecting. Finding individuals who are open, that are open. So many times we try to push a message to someone that is totally closed and wonder why we get frustrated when they don't see it. Because they're closed. And we haven't even done anything to try to open them up. We just went at them with a business opportunity. We just went at them. And unfortunately, most people are closed. That's why 5% of the population shares 95% of the wealth. Most people are going to be closed, and we just try to force something into them. We're going to get, it's just going to like throwing grapes at a brick wall. We're not going to be able to get our message through, even though our message is one of truth. It really is. And it is one that can really help the individual. All right, so two-part process, prospecting, finding individuals who are open. It's always a good thing when someone's already open and business minding and open to opportunity and already looking. Those are what we like to call your green apples. Those are like, slam dunks. That's like, yes, that's the perfect layup, the perfect people that you want to, but those aren't the majority. The majority of people are going to be closed. So we can either keep trying to throw grapes at a brick wall, try to get our message across to somebody that isn't open to receiving a message, or we can try to lead with knowledge to try to, at least crack it open and get them to understand, or at least see our perspective about economy, about business, about leverage income, about linear income, about the job market, about, success, about, mentorship, about sale. We are able to do that, and give them like, you're right. You're certainly right. Boom. What does that do? Now that person that was closed, they start to open up a little bit. And then once they do that, then we can get our message across, right? So you can either do that, prospecting, like I said, either two ways you can do that too. the fast way, we just kind of, be a hunter and just shooting your gun everywhere. You're just kind of going after numbers. You're kind of going after numbers. You know what I'm saying? You have a goal to talk to so many people a day, and you haven't did that. So you got 20 more people, so you just go out, boom, 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 boom. You can kind of do that as well. And look, somebody's going to say yes. Even if you are the worst at this, you just go out and say, hey, you're trying to make some money. You're going to try to make some money. Somebody's going to say yes, what you got. Somebody. And I believe Marcio Fulcher covered this, and he actually did this live and in person with his team because, so many people said, hey, people just aren't open. It's like, you know what? It doesn't even matter. And he just went out to the lobby and just went out to people and just said, hey, you want to make – that's all he said. He said, hey, you want to make some money? No. Hey, you want to make some money? And he get a couple weird looks like, what? Come on, guy, get out of here. Hey, you want to make some money? Hey, you want to make some – no. Sure, what you got? And it took all of 20 seconds to get one person to say yes. So there's two different approaches, and use whatever situation you're in, whether it's time, your comfort level. If you're at a big conglomerate expo and there's thousands of people there, you can use whatever strategy you feel comfortable with in that particular moment. But that's just the first part. That is the prospecting part. Second comes the invitation. And all you're doing is just getting them to the best exposure to me is the live in-house hotel hotel presentation, right? But to me, that shouldn't or isn't necessarily the first exposure. But to me, it's the best one. Why? Because that's where they can see the full picture. The energy is there, the music is there. The top leaders, the founders, the president is there. They can see the products. They can just kind of feel the energy. They can talk to other people who may be in similar circumstances as them and kind of, get a group, a bigger picture of the opportunity. But when you're inviting, look, use that freaking video. Send them the link. Use the Eric Worre. Hey, look, you seem pretty sharp guy. You seem like you're open to opportunity. Look, if I was to send you something, would you check it out? Use that approach and then send them the link. Or, hey, look, if I was to kind of invite you to a meeting with a few people that I'm in business with, very sharp guys, we're going to talk, would you come? Or, if I gave you a sample of this nutraceutical, would you give it to your dog and tell me your experience or tell me what you thought, Use that, the inviting process. And all you're doing is just inviting them to look at it, whatever. You're just inviting them to get in front of the information. Get in front of the information. That's all you're doing is inviting them to get them in front of the information, no matter how it comes across, video, sizzle call, online presentation, whatever the case may be. And just use, if I would you, And here's something that I utilize a lot, and I kind of teach this to my team. Don't be afraid to call people out. Like if you had a conversation with an individual and they expressed some challenge that they were having, right? Ask them, like, hey, look, you said that, you were tired of your job, and if something came along, you definitely take, a good hard look at it. Were you serious when you said that, or were you just playing around? Or we just, BS? That's what I usually say, because nobody wants to be a BSer, right? Like, were you serious when you said you're tired of leaving the check to check, or were you just, blowing smoke? You know what I'm saying? And hear what they got to say. And I use that. Like, if you tell me something, and then I ask you, were you really serious, or were you just kind of playing around and just talking trash? You say, no, I was really serious. Oh, were you? You know what I'm saying? Then you can kind of almost got them in a box. Like, you told me you were serious, but here I am offering you something, you're not you're not making any action. So I guess you was just low. I guess you was, a procrastinator. So don't be afraid to kind of call people out on, what they say they want. All right. Now, here's the thing. Once you invite the individual, right? What happens? Not if, but when they don't show. You did everything, right? You saw the. Someone tapped you on the shoulder, right? Or your boys, just said something that got you curious. You know what I'm saying? You came out, you saw the opportunity, right? You said, I want to do this. You determined your why, your purpose. You wrote it down. You made a commitment. You said, yes, you know what? I've quit everything else that I've ever done in my life. I want to see what happens when I don't quit. I want to see what happens when I give it my all. So I've never done that. And you make that commitment. You write down your goals, and you're serious, and you learn, and you're really serious about developing your business and developing yourself. And you're reading books, and you're having affirmations, and you're getting motivation from your upline, your downline. You're getting yourself in a positive mind frame. You develop a morning routine to help you grow out. You're calling your upline. You're coming to everything. You're calling everything. You're listening to everything. You feel your confidence gaining. You're developing good habits. Things that were unfamiliar are starting to become familiar. You're going out there. You're talking to people. You're getting numbers. At first you wasn't getting any numbers, but now you're starting to get numbers, and it feels good. Like, yes, got it. And he was sharp too. Oh, she was sharp, wasn't she? They looked good, dressed good, came out of a Mercedes Benz, was talking everything that you wanted to hear. Oh, I got her well, I know it. And you called her up, and they told you, you know what? I'm gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'll be there. And you follow up on the day of. You don't hear anything, but it's okay. They got the information. They told you they would be there. They're professionals. People say people genuinely honest with themselves. They're honest with you, right? Right? And then the meeting starts at 7:30, and you're looking around for your prospect. You send them a message and text them, hey, just want to make sure, I'm up in the front. I want to see if you was here already, And then 7:45 will go by. You're still looking around for your guests, right? And 8 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock, and then the night's over, and your guests. And early that day, you was up here, right? Because you met a sharp prospect. Oh, you were so juiced. You met saved him a seat too. Hey, that's right, this guy. You know what I'm saying? They were sharp. They just, you found one because you're doing all the things that my upline's telling me. I'm doing that, and I followed up, and I was confident, and I had good tone, and before I invited them out, I gave myself a little pep talk, and I nailed the invite, but they didn't show up. What did I do wrong? What could I have said wrong? Should I have called them and followed up, or should I not have called them? What could I have done differently? Nothing. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. And when that happens, I don't want you to feel some type of way, some type of Don't try to look in the camera. Yeah, I'm sorry. Good night. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, they didn't show up, and you did everything that your upline told you to do and everything like that, but they didn't show up. And so he calls them the next day to figure out what happened, just to make sure, like, hey, I just wanted to kind of make sure everything's okay. I understand it may have been raining or traffic was bad. Just want to make sure everything's good. But they don't answer. You send a text, they don't respond. So look, that's the business. There's no way around it. It's going to happen to you. Understand something. This is a business. But you don't, and this is a people business, right? Yes, our commodities are pet products, right? That's the product and service that we sell to generate revenue for ourselves, right? That's the commerce, the exchange for goods and services for money, right? But the thing with network marketing is such a different beast because you also are dealing with people. You're building essentially a team, a sales force. And okay, sorry. Hope I'm going with this. You're building a team, you're building a sales force, and you essentially don't build a business. You build people, and people build your business, right? That's why we're so up on the personal development aspect, because we want you to build yourself up first, and then turn around so you can build others. That's how this business works. And in the process of building each other up, becoming more confident, becoming, a better speaker, or, a more, becoming you, but just a more, a more I'm here type of you, a more aware type of you, a more confident, savvy, patient, energetic, enthusiastic, passionate you, knowledgeable you, that's how this business ultimately grows. And so understand, like, it's going to happen. Look, Dr. London, with all his decades of success, the man rides around in a $500,000 Lamborghini, and yet people still stand him up. So they're going to stand him up, and everyone in the DMV knows Dr. London as just literally the epitome of success. And if people stand him up, oh, best believe they're going to stand your little broke butt up too. It come to expect it, but that's just the thing. I want you to expect greatness. I want you to expect that everybody that you talk to is going to join your business. And you should go in with that type of posture, that type of confidence, that everybody you talk to is going to hop into my business. Everybody that I talk to with a dog is going to buy from me. Yes, I want you to have that expectation, but I want you to be detached from the results. Okay? I want you to be detached. So when that person doesn't show up, yes, you expected them to, but you weren't attached to the result of them actually coming up, because all you are is a vehicle of information, and all you do is just share information. And that is the key to what you're doing, is not convincing someone to join your business. Or look, if somebody said, I think Brian Carruthers, look, if they're not concerned or worried about their family's finances and future, then neither should you. So understand, it's a part of the business. I don't want you to internalize it. I don't want you to look at yourself as like, oh my God, what could I have done? What did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. There may have been some things you could have changed, but ultimately, people are people, all right? People are going to be dishonest. People are going to lie. People are going to embellish. It is what it is. Get used to it. You are a network marketer. If you want to build a team of thousands of people, you're going to deal with all types, not just the sharp, savvy, rich people, but you're going to deal with the crazy, deranged lunatics as well. Get used to it, baby. It just is what it is. It is what it is. And you know what? Use it. You can learn something from everybody. Use it. All right? So I kind of got off, but they didn't show up. But proper follow up. You just reach out to an individual today. It's like, hey, I just wanted to reach out and just make sure everything's okay. I know we had an appointment. I know you expressed you were really excited, and I know things come up, and I just wanted to kind of reach back out. Let's talk. Let's chop it up, man. You missed a hell of a meeting last night. And that's pretty much all you can do. After a while, you may send a text message, but if a person isn't open, then you're just going to frustrate yourself trying to constantly talk to that person. And look, there's more people. There's a lot more people out there. I think when we get focused on a few people and they don't necessarily get into the business, we get, start getting a little anxiety or doubtful. But when you have 20, 30 people in your pipeline, you don't care. And yes, I know when you're starting out, when you have a small team, it seems like everybody is essential. You know what I'm saying? It's essential that everybody gets in. But as you start to grow, you start not caring, to be quite honest with you. Because at a certain point, it's going to grow on its own. And you're going to understand that. And you already know that. And part of that posture that I was kind of talking about is understanding that it is going to grow, whether this person gets involved or not, whether that person gets involved or not. Dr. Leonard says it all the time. Once that individual feels that you need them more than they need you, they won't come. But like I said, just be a vehicle of knowledge. Like, whether they, join, whether they come or not, whether you get their phone number, whether they view the video or not, doesn't matter. It's not your job. You are only there to share information. If you do that, then you've done all that you can. You've done what your job was. And if they are open, then yes, you just kind of move them on to the next part. But trust me, and I always tell people this: your job, quote unquote, as a network marketer, isn't to sign people up. It really isn't. And I know it sounds counterintuitive. Like, what do you mean? We're supposed to build. You are just a vehicle of information. As long as you get an opportunity to share the information, whether you do a horrible job at it or a good job at it, you've done your job. You've done your job. And when I say horrible job, I say it kind of loosely because I'll take my own self, for example. Now, I have a business partner in my business. He's one of my leaders. Everybody knows him. Big guy, Mr. Nate Bing. Been down with me for 2 years, and has really grown in his business. Check this out, true story. This is how he got into the business. He was doing a delivery at my job one day, and I don't know what made me start talking about the business, but I just started talking about the business a little bit, and I gave him my card, right? I gave him my card. I don't know what we left with, but I remember we were standing in the hallway, and I was giving him my little spiel. I was telling him about. I think I even went to like products and crap. I was telling him about the business, and I gave him my card, and I don't even remember. Yeah, he gave me his number, and he was like, "Call me." Guess what, y'all? I never called the dude. I didn't even follow up with Nate Bing, but I must have said something because he reached out to me maybe like a week later, So you always hear that thing, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, I think you can, in a sense, say the wrong thing to the right person, but when a person is just ripe for opportunity, like I said, it really don't matter. As long as you can get the key elements, what I'm saying? And here's the thing. I think it was more so this. I don't think it was really what I said. I think it was more so how I said it. Y'all know me. I'm a passionate guy. And, I think that has kind of helped me grow my team when I didn't even know what the heck I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? But it's something when, trust me, you have all the information. That person doesn't know anything about Nevetica. I mean, they don't know anything about it. So even if you don't give them all the right information, they don't know. Oh man, he didn't say that you could have had, the nutraceutical contain plantar. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to know that. And so, you hear this term a lot, and I'll just kind of wrap it up with this: fail fast, fail faster, fail fastest, right? And what does fail fast mean? All right. Now, aside from your daily routine, right, of learning, working on yourself, plugging in, talking to people, developing those skills, because networking is a skill, ladies and gentlemen. Inviting is a skill. Yes, we talk to people all the time, but there's certain nuances when it comes to networking and gathering someone's personal information, right? Because you can get their information, but can't get them to pick up when you call them. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole other thing. And it's the determination of what you say once you get the number, as to the last few things that you say, as the determination as to whether they're going to pick it up. So fail fast. The best way to do this is to build momentum. Now, when you build momentum, just think about the equation of momentum. In order to achieve momentum, you need speed times velocity. Speed times velocity equals momentum. And when you equate that network marketing, speed is just the amount of time that you take to do something, and velocity is the number of people. And momentum is built when you can go through a large amount of people in a short amount of time, right? And so you want to kind of compress your time frame. That's, the key to how, quote unquote, the big boys do it. The Dr. Lance Londons, the Ramacios, the Holtons, the Brian Carruthers. They compress time frames. What they did was they tried to expose the business to as many people in a short amount of time as possible, and that ultimately builds momentum, all right? Failing fast also builds momentum. If you are able to go through 100 individuals within, I don't know, 2-3 days, let's just say that, 2-3 days, then ultimately that experience, all right, let me back up. All right, momentum, because speed is your friend in network marketing. Yes, you can build a business, but unfortunately, to me, the slow and steady doesn't necessarily win the race. It'll keep you in the race, but it won't necessarily win the race. And I think if we all can, compress our time frames, and when we bring people in, get them to compress theirs, and when they bring people in, we kind of have that chain reaction of a lot of activity in a very short amount of time. I think that can ultimately chain reaction and blow big. I think that's how all the big boys do it. So when I'm saying fail fast, look, it's going to suck. This is something new. This is something, especially, if you never, you're new to entrepreneurship. This is something new. This is something unfamiliar. And when you do something new and unfamiliar, it's going to be painful. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to even feel like doing it, even though the end result of doing these activities. And so when you're able to just compress that time, then it kind of, it's almost like ripping the Band-Aid off. All right, I guess the best analogy that I can do it. Now you already know you've had this Band-Aid on a cut for a long time. The Band-Aid is all crusty and dry. It needs to come off, right? You can either try to slowly, like do a little, right, or you could just and just rip the joint off, right? I mean, which would we rather do? I think we all rather just rip that Band-Aid off. And so I guess that's like one of the best analogies I can do as to failing fast, or the reason why you want to fail faster, why you want to go out there with, in a sense, no inhibition. Like, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What would you do? What would you do if you knew that everybody that you went out there and talked to had the key to your success, right? If you could take that approach, you would just go out there and you wouldn't even care what you're saying. But if you knew that if I promised you I'd give you $1 million at the end of the year, and every day at the end of the year, all you had to do was just start a conversation with 15 people, and I guaranteed you $1 million a year. I think we all would go out there and just talk to 15 people a day because we already knew, we had that reassurance that we had $1 million coming. But it's the same, in essence, it's the same thing. We can't guarantee anybody's success, but, if you do certain things, you're going to get certain results. If I plant seeds, I'm going to reap a harvest. I mean, it's law. It's freaking law. If I plant seeds, I'm going to get a harvest. I plant enough seeds, and I tend to these seeds. I water these seeds every day. After a while, I will have a harvest. That's law. There's no denying it. And so I can essentially guarantee it through that way that, yes, you can be successful. But fail fast. Plant those seeds. Just talk to people. It's going to be ugly, but just rip that Band-Aid off, all right? All right? So what time is it? I don't even know how long I've been going. All right, so 8:37. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. All right. So that's some key fundamentals. So now, just to recap, number one, have a why. Have a strong why that isn't just about a nice house or a nice car or fancy freaking wardrobe, none of that superficial stuff, but something that resonates with you, something that when you start to think about gets you a little emotional. All right, that's what's going to keep you in the game. That's what's going to keep pulling you through all those no's and late nights and rejections and people telling you it's a pyramid scheme, and that's what's going to keep you pushing when you're tired of listening to all the motivation in the world. But you know what? I got to do it anyway. When you're tired and you don't feel like reading, but you got to do it anyway because you have that emotional pull. It's deeper than just super money on the surface level. But if you don't achieve this, then your soul won't sit right. I don't know. There's something. You have something. Dig for it. What makes you upset? What's worth living for? What's worth fighting for? What's worth dying for? Make that your why. That is your why. Once you find out that that's your why, write it down. Write it down. Once you write it down again. And if you write it down after 100 times, write it down 100 more freaking times. Write it down and make it somewhere visible where you see it every single day as soon as you wake up and before you go to bed. All right? Now, give yourself time. Give yourself time. Don't give yourself 3 to 4 months to become a millionaire. Because to me, it takes at least a year just to really understand how to do this business. At least a year. At least 12 months of consistent, dedicated study and application. Then you'll start to learn how to do it like a professional. And then it'll take you another couple of years after that to really build the income. So give yourself some time. Be patient with yourself. Understand that you are new to this. Understand if you, especially for the people who are in a month, or 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Heck, if you're still a year, you're still a rookie. You're still a novice. I'm just a toddler in this thing myself. So give yourself some time to grow and understand this thing at a high level. You have to know how to do it at a high level to get high level results. Develop yourself a morning routine. Find a routine in the morning and throughout your, little rituals throughout your day to keep yourself in a positive state of mind. Whatever it is, listen to the motivationals. Find somebody that you resonate with. I know Mr. Williams really likes, Reverend T.D. Jakes. I know Mr. Potts really likes Eric Thomas. I know Devin Donnell, he really likes, Jim Rohn. I kind of know who people like to, listen to. Find somebody that resonates with you. For me, it's too many names. I like everybody. I listen to everybody. But find somebody, listen to stuff throughout your day. If you're going to work, listen to something. If you have some time at your lunch, listen to something, read something. Time management isn't the hours that we utilize, it's in the minutes, Develop a routine and rituals in the morning, in the middle of your day, and even at the end before you go to bed. Have another little, routine or ritual before you go to bed, all right? Understand that recruiting is a 2-part process. First part, prospecting, finding individuals, finding, who's open to opportunity, find someone who needs an opportunity, find someone who's coachable, find someone who has a great personality, someone who dresses well, someone's articulate, someone's passionate, and finding a need or a lack that they have, that they express, that they want to fulfill, all right? There's 2 types of prospecting. You have the quick way, where you just expose a large number. You just pretty much say, hey, you want to make some money. Or, you have the slower process where you're building rapport, right? And remember, you don't necessarily want to just pitch the business. You just want to get their information and set up a time later to talk. Get their information, set up a time later to talk. Get their information, set up a time later to talk. Get their information and set up a time later to talk. You don't do it right then and there, all right? Also, go in not with the expectation of or the intent of trying to recruit this individual. Go in it with the intent of trying to open this individual, educate this individual, share information with this individual, all right? Take that pressure off. Take that pressure off yourself. You're not trying to recruit everybody. You're just trying to educate. You're just trying to share information. If they ain't open to sharing it, so what? Bye. You're lost. People always take it as a knock on them, as they judging you, that they rejecting you. No. Dr. London says it all the time. They're just rejecting the idea of adding value to their life. Forget them. Go talk to somebody else. There's over 330 million people in the United States alone, and network marketing is growing every single week, year, and month. Go talk to somebody else. Don't let that individual, get you out of the mind frame because they were in a negative mind frame, so that energy transferred over you. Man, don't block that energy and keep it moving and go talk to somebody else. Somebody's going to say yes. Look at the room now. I was there when we first did the room. There was maybe 15, less than 20 people in the room. Now we got people all over the country and over the world. Somebody's going to say yes. I've seen it. Somebody's going to say yes. Just keep moving. All right? Detach yourself from the outcome. Just trying to educate. Once you do that, you did your job. To me, once you get in, you do your 100-person list. That's just practice. That's just you getting your reps in. How to talk to people, how to sound, getting your tones, your pitch. Everything. It all goes together. Follow up. It's not you. You know what I'm saying? We all experience it. Even when we become diamonds and black diamonds, we still want to be out here recruiting people, and people are still going to show us up. It's a part of the business. It just is. It's just one of those things. It's one of those things. Oh, one last thing. Once you get in, once you start acquiring partners, right? You're gonna get excited, but not everybody's going to take to it in the same manner. People are going to come in at different levels. Not everybody's going to come in and just go on fire and just blow up and be totally coachable right at the beginning. Don't let that frustrate you, all right? Understand, people are coming in at different levels. People have different expectations. People have different baggage, different, habits. Everyone's coming in. This is a people business, everyone. It's a people business. So when you start acquiring partners, then they're not being coachable. Don't let that frustrate you. Don't let that frustrate you. I've actually seen people, just totally not do certain things, for months, and all of a sudden, 6 months in, start, calling me every single day. Start being, start doing those things. So, don't, I say, jump on them. We're not anybody's boss. We can't make anybody do anything. We only use encouragement. But like I said, there's a cure-all in network marketing if your business isn't going the way that you see. And that is, go talk to more people. Go find some more people. You know what I'm saying? Once you start, you start building the team, and the people that you kind of brought in aren't necessarily kind of getting it, but they start seeing you go on and start bringing in people who are getting it and are starting to do things and getting results, they'll come around. Everyone will come around. And best believe, all these people that we've been talking to over these past 2.5, 3 years, look, as long as you keep going, they're all going to come around. Once they start seeing you leave your job, start, buying a new car, whatever the case may be, they'll come around. Look, we're network marketers, you know what I'm saying? All those people that you reach out to, keep them in the loop. All your business partners, just kind of keep them in the loop. Keep reaching out there. Hey, look, we can't make anybody do anything, but always let them know that you are there whenever they're ready. All right, whenever they're ready. So, that's all I got for tonight. I may make this, more of a consistent thing, but that's all I got for tonight. And so I will just unmute it, or if you want to unmute yourself, ask a question, add anything. I know Mr. Williams has some information that he would like to share. But if anybody had any questions or anything I covered, please ask, or any type of situation that you're dealing with, and if you can all help, hey, look, I ain't a guru yet. I'm not a guru. I'm not Dr. London, so I don't have all the answers. maybe someone has, better insight into some of these situations than I do. Look, let's all come together. Let's work. We are a team. So, yeah, unmute yourselves and
Mr. Brooks,
go ahead
Mr.
and say what
Brooks,
you got to
this
say.
is Mr. Henry, and this is Mr. Henry. I just want to let you know that everything you spoke on tonight, pretty much, I've summed up in my mind to be on the same page that you are, sir. And,
Yes, sir.
and the methods, the tactics, and everything that you've talked about is pretty much is what I'm practicing down here in North Carolina. Now, I've written down a key factor of what you just talked about. And, if you plant a seed, you will reap a harvest.
Yes,
and
sir.
pretty much in North Carolina, me planting a seed wherever I go, and me being a truck driver like Mr. Bing in various areas of North Carolina that I'm able to reach at a wide span, I'm actually putting in the input for Nevetica. I'm passing out my cards, my flyers. I'm talking about the business as much as I can, that, to the point to where I don't get into trouble like I've had before as far as soliciting another business on the business that I'm doing. Some people are open-minded to that. So I just want to let you know, your message tonight was really a great input, because I realized that I am on an avenue of the same page that you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brooks, this is Ms. Godfrey here. I just want to say, hopefully you get a chance to read some of the group chat. We were with you all the way, sir. Your enthusiasm and passion, and I'm glad that you decided to do this fundamental training, because you're right. There's so many new people that didn't get all this like we got in the beginning.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I'm telling you are right on, sir. Everything is just on point. I would encourage the leaders that have teams that maybe some of your teammates didn't get on this call. And if you got notes, type them notes up and give it to them. Because this is what, do a meeting with your team and go over these notes. Because this is what's going to keep us sound. It's going to keep us strong, keep us from stressing out. Like if we just follow these things. I do have one question, sir, about the posture. When you said get a certain posture about yourself, I'm thinking, are you speaking on more like when we talk about rhino skin and that kind of thing, like nothing bothers you kind of thing? Is that what you?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a strong belief. No matter what anybody says, it's not going to shake your belief in what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excellent training, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Brooks.
You have something you want to say, sir?
Yes, sir. How you doing? Great job, first of all. Great job. Appreciate it.
Sir.
Continue doing what you're doing. Use the guru. You're very knowledgeable. I love learning. I love writing stuff down. Believe me, I took my notes as well, and I appreciate that. But I have a message from Mr. Potts. He couldn't get on. Well, he couldn't stay on. He's at the office with Dr. London. His message was to make sure you have your people actually on the Zoom call for Tuesday. You never know what we may get. We may get a date. I'm not saying we will, but you never know. But according to him, Dr. London's supposed to be on the call. Have your people on. And the object of this call is to invite at least 5 people. And this, again, this is from Mr. Potts. It's not from myself. He said, look, this is going to be a call to remember. I'm just only in a message. I'm just giving it out to you. So just keep that in mind and invite. And that was from Mr. Potts. Again, Mr. Brooks, I give it back to you. Great job. Continue doing what you're doing, sir. You the man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Millionaire. You already know. You broke it on down tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
you, ma'am.
Like I said, we have to get back to basics. We were all in the beginning. We kind of slacked off. All of us kind of slacked off as we kept getting put on the back burner. Oh, we hold up. We got to slow down. Can't we all kind of were like, really? Come on, we ready. But now we got to put that gas back in it, and you did it, and I'm proud of you, and I appreciate this. And yes, my team will be getting the notes, and whenever you doing your thing again, just let us know. We'll be on here.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate those words, millionaire. Absolutely. So, other than that, I'll just kind of close it out with. I'll close this training out tonight. We were just as kind of the add to Mrs. Webb's point. I know that at this point, we're kind of in the dark about when we're actually going to, turn everything on. And I know it's been frustrating. Trust me, I know we've been informing individuals for months and years and on this date. And when that date didn't come, we informed them on this date. And then when that date didn't come, we've been telling them just days away. We've been saying days away for weeks now, right? And so I get it, and I know people are feeling that they're losing credibility. They're kind of getting frustrated because people keep approaching them. Hey, hasn't your company launched yet? And they're starting to look at them a little, sideways, like, what's going on with this company you're talking about here, right? And trust me, I know what's going on out there. From what I understand, I don't know when the date is, but I do know a date has been determined. I'll just kind of say that. And I believe that it will be notified as to the date, sometime this week. It's funneling the information, that I received. So I'll just kind of say this, right? We all had the opportunity to wait until this thing fully launched to get involved and invest our time and our money into it, right? We all had that option. We all had that option. But we saw something in it and we positioned ourselves now for some reason. And we did that so that when we do launch, we can kind of have a head start on everybody else and things of that nature, right? So I always tell people, look, it's the same opportunity that you saw when you first saw it. It's even better, you know what I'm saying? And it would be even better when we launch. I understand the frustration. I understand, you may even be losing business partners, potential partners, or even customers because of the quote unquote the wait. But what's your alternative? I always ask that. If not network marketing, then what?
Right.
If not Nevetica, then who? Mm-hmm. And if not now,
then when?
Then when? We all know this company is going to. It's not like it's never going to launch. We all know it's going to launch soon. And to be honest with you, I've stopped thinking about it. I've stopped stressing. I've stopped worrying about it because I can't control that. And the more I start to think about it and start, worrying about this and that, then, it kind of gets me out of my element, I can't focus on that, so I'm not going to focus on that. All I'm going to do is just focus on the things that I control. Myself, my attitude, I'm going to continue to reach out to my business partners. I'm going to continue to talk to people, you know what I'm saying? That's what I can control. That's what I'm going to focus on. If I start focusing on this and it doesn't happen, I'm just going to become frustrated and stressed, and that's what's happening, And we all kind of know that, Dr. London isn't going to do anything to hurt this company. And I've heard of companies that launched recently that had to launch, then stop because, the back office was right and compensation wasn't getting, tallied correctly, product, and stuff like that. And I don't care. No mess with my money. No mess with the money. So if I got to wait a couple of months so my money don't get messed up, then I guess that's a good thing. But
that's what it is.
Yes, listen,
I'm not used to just sitting. I'm not used to subsiding with anything. I'm jumping on, sir. I'm interrupting you because what you're talking. I'm very motivational, and what I'm dealing with right now is the fact of talking to people and enjoying it. So whether I'm waiting for for it to happen, for the inevitable to happen, which is going to happen, that's my frame of mind.
Absolutely.
I'm positive with this thing. I believe in this thing.
Yeah.
Whether it takes whatever time it takes for it to happen, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'm on board because of the excitement that I have, not only for my upline, not only for my business partner that's controlling this thing with me, but the fact that I'm enjoying talking to people. I didn't used to do this.
In the
and
process,
to talk to
sir.
them about something that I'm learning this process about, to be able to tell them what they don't know and open their eyes, and people looking so positive at what, well, I didn't know that. Come on, man. Come on. I'm having a blast with this, sir. So my excitement is, I may not look like it, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm very enthused with what I'm doing. I'm very happy with what I'm doing. Can't nobody tell me any difference.
Yes,
Carry on, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Brooks, this is Ms. Godfrey.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Enjoy the process.
That's right, Mr. Henry. If somebody asks, oh, so, you know, had that question, oh, y'all ain't launched yet? You know, what's taking? Ask them, have they heard of the story of Noah and the ark? Ask them that.
Yes, ma'am.
Noah and the ark.
Noah and the ark. Ask them, have they
Noah
heard?
and the ark. Okay.
Yes, sir. Did they not have to wait? Like, that'll shut them up. And like Mr. Brooks said, this is time for character building 101. Like, work on you, the man in the mirror, and just zip it and just wait.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mic drop.
And so with that, you know, if nobody has anything else to share, I think we can go ahead and call it a night.
Yes, sir. Great job, sir.
I appreciate you so much. I appreciate everybody that got on. Really, I really do. And you know, Tuesday we had the overview, the corporate overview Tuesday. I'm not sure if we have something going on tomorrow. Do we have something going on tomorrow, Ms. Godfrey?
I don't think so, sir.
Recollection?
No,
not
not,
to my knowledge.
Okay.
not yet. Something might.
That's right. There you go. Not yet. That's right. Sure, something to come through. That's right.
Sir.
But you know what? You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a very powerful week. We wake up in the morning, you know, get yourself in the right frame of mind. You know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Morning show. Jump on the morning show.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you.
Show. That's
Weekend
right. Hop
juice.
on the morning show.
Weekend juice.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Brooks. Hey, Mr. Brooks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely, sir.
I want to commend Miss Godfrey too, because she normally have her call today. She ended up canceling her call so that we can jump on your call. So,
right.
Absolutely.
but in order to be a leader, you have to sometimes remove yourself out of the way and allow. But great job, Miss Godfrey, on your part as well. Great job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Love it. I love it.
Love my team.
All right, guys. You guys get out of here, and I'm sure I'll be talking with most of you guys, you know, pretty soon. All right.
Good night, John Boy.
Yes, sir. Good night. Good night.
Good night, Mary Lou.
Great evening, everyone.
It's
All
so
right,
great
y'all.
that we had this time together.
Good night, everybody.
Wow, good night.
Bye.
I heard you, Mr. Henry, singing.
Oh, not tonight. That was Mr. Henry.
Yeah.
Nighty night.
All right, peace.
Good night.
Talk to y'all tomorrow.
Okay.
Good night, Miss
bye-bye,
Webb.
Night, Thompson.
Good night, Miss Godfrey.